Industry leaders representing restaurants and hotels in Illinois said their #1 priority has always been the health and safety of employees and guests. While many of these nursing homes have allowed for virtual visitation throughout the pandemic, other facilities have not. Dillon and McKenzie, Jess McDonald served as DCFS director twice in the 90s for a combined 10 years in the position, making him the longest serving director in the department's history. Pritzker explained some across the state don't have the same availability to get the vaccine, especially those living in communities hardest hit by this pandemic. Page Democratic lawmakers say more Illinois children and teens die from gun violence than from any other cause, and they want stricter background checks and fingerprints to reduce illegal ownership. McDonald emphasized that the child welfare system often becomes the go-to response when mandated reporters aren't sure where to turn. Reporting in Springfield, I'm Allie Rasper. Enjoying a locally brewed beer with friends has looked a little different since the beginning of this pandemic. Breweries were granted distribution options under the governor's executive order, but that won't last forever. Brent Schworer has run the Ingrained Brewery in Springfield, Illinois for nearly 8 years. He says being able to deliver during the pandemic has helped him grow his business even more. Now he's hoping this change will become permanent and help other growing breweries.
It's taken me that long to get to this point. So if I had more flexibility, if the laws provided more flexibility, I could have been doing this sooner.
The bill would grant breweries permission to ship beer to your home, as well as sell their products at local retail and grocery stores. One brewer group is asking lawmakers to pass the bill in order to help those struggling businesses stay alive.
We have data right now that shows about 50% of consumers are still not comfortable returning to on-premise. And we don't know, depending on how quickly the vaccination rollout happens and when we as a state can move to phase 5 and start doing, gatherings again.
Until that time, Schworer says brewers must adapt to fill their consumers' wants.
Let's just be honest, the world's changed and the convenience that the consumer expects and wants has changed with it. And so people want to order stuff online and have it show up at their doorstep. That's just the reality of things.
The proposal, introduced as House Bill 3495, will give assistance to breweries like this one. Reporting in Springfield, I'm Allie Rasper.
All right, Allie, thank you.
The COVID-19 pandemic has created a new crisis for the child welfare system: education. Jess McDonald says when children aren't attending online school, it becomes an issue the department must resolve.
When kids would go back to school, there'll be some that don't come back. And right now, I would imagine schools could tell you the list of kids that aren't participating in virtual learning. So they're going to be watching for them.
The former director stressed the possibility of a major influx in child abuse hotline reports once kids fully return to schools in person. McDonald hopes schools will take the initiative to contact these families and connect them with the available resources.
I regret that I've not seen much anywhere innovative programming to reach out to these reach out to families. And part of that is that states are strapped.
He noted that when a student begins to miss school regularly, a teacher doesn't always know the proper channels to contact and ends up calling child welfare. McDonald emphasized that the child welfare system often becomes the go-to response when mandated reporters aren't sure where to turn. Reporting in Springfield, I'm Allie Rasper.